Welcome back everybody. All I've done while I've been off camera is just sort out this piece to go on here, and so all I need to do now is glue it down, and I'm going to use my Beacon 3-in-1 because it's dries quicker and you do get a little bit of wriggle room. So basically I've just eyeballed it and cut out the piece to go down this side first. Oops, that's going to puddle out now, you watch. There we are. And I don't know about you, but I do like to see a little bit of the envelope poking out the side. And that way it stops the paper rattling up along the edge as well. And this piece wasn't wide enough, so I've done a bit of decoupage. I've glued two pieces together there, and I've torn it with my ruler, so I'm going to pop that bit so I just need to slide it down a fraction. That's it, because I like a bit showing on the top as well. So what I do is I measure just up to the centre line. I don't sort of put anything over the centre line, which can be a pain sometimes, because sometimes you get a bit of text from the envelope that just pokes out that little bit. But I think, well, at the end of the day, they are junk journals, and you know, we are repurposing envelopes, and it looks better than it did when it was an envelope. So I've left a little bit of a gap so it's not going to interfere with the corner. There we go. And then I've got this little piece here, little scrappy bit, and I've just inked that edge, and I'll just make sure it's glued down as well. There we go. So that's given us a little window. Now what I've done is I've also sealed up the back of the envelope. So at the moment you can't put anything on the inside of it, but that is subject to change. There we go. So that bit will just poke out above the pocket there. And then what I've done is I've got this piece ready to go on this side, and could do with a little bit shaving off there if we can. I don't think this is going to work really. Where's my tweezers? Sometimes if you get hold of it with your tweezers, it starts it off a little bit. There we go. I'm just, oh, my tweezers are hopeless. No, it's It's not going to happen, so I'm going to have to just trim a little bit away. That's better. I just didn't want it to interfere with that corner if I slid it along a little bit. So let's have a look. Yeah, I think we can glue that down now. So I hope that you've been and had a butcher's or a look at Suzanne's beautiful kit. And if you're in the mood for spring, then this is the perfect kit. And if you're not in the mood for spring, if you have a look at the kit, it'll certainly get you in the mood for spring. There we go. I don't know about you, but I like all of the seasons, but especially spring, because everything seems so fresh and full of life. You've got, you know, birds are nesting, and you've got lambs being born, and my hens are laying. And I've only got 3 hens now. I used to have 18, but gradually they've died off over the years, and we're not replenishing them because we're getting older, and it's get like hard work cleaning them out. My husband does them. I did them for the first 5 years, but I've got a terrible back problem, so he's gradually taken them over, and what with that and walking the dogs, doing the garden, he's a good egg. And I wouldn't trade him for the world. So yeah, that's that. And then we've got to think of something that we're going to put on the pocket. And I do like this page here. You know, if you could have a few of these lovely wild flowers on the front. Let's have a peek what they would actually look like with the above. Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they? Look at those. Or you could have some of the ephemera, or you could go for something a bit more along the lines of text. Let me just have a look at some of the ephemera on here. You know, you could go for something like that. And or even one of the little something like that would look lovely too, wouldn't it? On the front. But it would also look nice tucked in as well. I'm going to save the cards, I think. Oh, that's cute. If you want, you know, if you want some of the little animals on the front. I want to save those to put in the pockets. Let's have a peek what we've got here. That would be rather nice as well. And then you've got some of the flowers. What I was thinking was, you know, you could pop some of these lovely flowers such as that one. That could come over the top there, that'd look nice. Because you can actually cut that off and stick it somewhere else. I won't do that actually. But anyway, I'm getting sidelined now. Let me just take the edge off here. I don't know why my printer has suddenly stopped printing borderless. I've got to look in the settings. No, then I don't want that bit because I've got that up there, so I quite like the greenery on that. It ties it in with the top. Let's do the other edges and see. I do love those blue flowers. I'm just going to have a look in some of the other papers. I'll be right back. Right, what I've decided to do, I quite like this plain part along this top here, and I'm going to use that on both the edges of the pocket. So what I'm going to do is use my ruler and hopefully we'll tear off a strip for both sides, and then I'll be able to use that inside the journal, and it maintains all the wildflowers on it. So, and it stops it looking a bit too busy as well. So, and then it enables you to decorate your pocket. So we'll pop that on the front of there, like so. There we go. There's one. And then I quite like having the inky bit in there, so I think we'll do that. But just before I put the paper down, I'm just going to ink in the corner there. There we go. There we are. Lovely. I love making these little folios. It's amazing what you can do with envelopes. And it's nice that you're recycling things at the same time. There we are. Now then, if you want to sew, this is the time to do your sewing. You know, so that you can go down all the edges and round your pockets, but not everybody has a sewing machine, and it's past bedtime o'clock, and my sewing machine is right up on a high shelf, so I'm not going to get it out now. There we go. Excuse my arm. So there's the pockets, and then what we could do then is, during last week while I was at home sorting my mum's effects, and me and my brothers have been clearing the house, I found this lovely lace belonging to my mum, and I don't really want to use it really. I want to treasure it for a while, but I will use it on here, I think, along the edge. I think that would look rather nice. Cut a bit for there, and a bit for there, and then we've got some lovely baskets of flowers here, and we've got let's have a look. You could put it on that side. Just wondering if it's a bit big, that lace. Let me try a smaller one. Oh, that's rather pretty too. And then we've got I think I prefer that one, I think. I'll do that. Just have a look, see what else we've got here. That's rather nice too. That could perhaps go the other side. Oh, they're all lovely, aren't they? So we've got bloom. And just ink around the edge. I'm jumping the gun a little bit decorating this bit, because I might want to put some extras on, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So just go along the edge. There we go. Oops. I made a mess of that. We'll do this one as well. Oh, there's that big dollop of glue. There we go. sure I don't snip the corner of the envelope. There we go. Thank you, Mum, for the lace. Right. Let's have a look what we've got here. I've got some little ones in my stash as well. We could have Flourish. Yeah, I quite like the small one. There we go. Just put a bit of ink down there. Now then, do I want it this side? Yeah, I think I do. I think I do. Just because it's got that numeral in the corner. Make sure it's away from the centre fold. I've got some tissue here. Let's have a just wipe up that little bit of where the glue's puddled out. There we are. And then, what can we have this side? Gorgeous butterflies in the kit. That was another lovely one. Beautiful deep colour. I think that looks nice. And we've got, what sentiments have we got? Rebirth, Flourish, Season. Tulip. Buzzing. Oh no, then I haven't got a big bee. Let's have a look. Petals. Daisy. We just have a look on the flower line again. See what we've got. I could perhaps put that up there. Oh no, they're nice. I'm drawn back to the flowers every time. So we've got yellow on that one. The pinks. I like it with the vase, I think. Just see if I've got another smaller word. I've got bloom and I've got special. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the bloom. So we'll pop that one on. Oops. Try not to put so much on. There we go. And then I think we'll pop that one up there. Because I like it. And then all we've got to do now is put these pockets down. And then we can put some ephemera in. So if you want to sew your pockets down, you can do. Just makes them a little bit stronger. But if you get a good glue, it's generally not a problem unless you absolutely overload them. And then when we stitch our signature in the middle, that will hold that in to stop this pocket flipping open. So that is the inside of our little folio done. You just pop those out the way. Excuse my arms again. And then you can have a look and see what ephemera we've got to go inside. So we've got a lovely card here. And then there's this card with the bees on, which is really lovely. Look at that. And it's got the holes down the side, which I've perforated with my crocodile. So we could put that in there, or in there. I know it hides the butterfly. I might move that because whatever I put on the back here, I can tuck that in. Or you could have it actually in your signature in the middle, which is another idea. Let's have a look. We've got some smaller tags here, which I know we have. Let's have a look. Where did I put them? There we go. That's better. So we've got these little beauties. And then what I'll do is I'll reinforce them and do some stamping on the back. So you've got a little rabbit, little duckling, little robin. They're really cute. And yeah, we'll get some more. I think what I'll do, I'll just put one in the pocket. So now I'll have the butterfly one in there and the robin one in there. And then I'll make some tags. Oh, I'll have that daisy one in there actually. Have it that way so we can see some of the flower. There we are. And then I've got a little mouse. Or the birds. I'll keep the mouse one. Or maybe put that one in there. And that one in there. Yeah, we'll have the robin. And then we'll have the flowers. And that way we'll see the butterfly still. So that's the inside done. So bear with and we'll carry on and we'll decorate the outside. Right, we'll just have a look, a bit of a recap. So we've decorated the interior and we've put some ephemera in the pockets. Some of it I've found in my stash, just to fill them up a little bit to stop them sliding around. This is one from the kit, absolutely beautiful. And I've yet got to put some eyelets in and some ribbon or some twine or whatever, and I want to put some gems on there as well. So just to make it a little bit more interesting, I want to add some additional pieces onto here. So I've gone through my stash and I found this little envelope, and I've got two, and I've put them inside one another, and I didn't know whether to do like a little flip out. So what you could do is attach that onto there and then stick that one onto there so it folds out like that, and then you decorate the envelope, which I'm still thinking about that one. And what I decided on, I found this envelope here that had a lovely card in, and I've inked around the edges and I've inked down that crease there, and I thought I would put it so it's not in line with the bottom or the top, but slightly, I don't know, about maybe ½ an inch, and I'm going to glue that onto there, I think. And first of all, I'm going to pop that onto there. So we'll get my faithful beacon, 3-in-1, and we'll do that now. So a bit of a topsy-turvy way. When I've made them in the past, I've made all the shell first before I've done all the decorating, but I was that in love with the kit, I couldn't wait to get it glued down. but it's working out okay. I don't want to make it too bulky, and I want to make it so it's a nice little quick project for somebody who's never done a folio before. So I'm just going to move that out of the way and bring my work up there, because I'm terrible for sliding down the table. There we go. So we could put a corner pocket on here. We could do all sorts really. I've found some more flowers in my stash, which, you know, you could add additions to if you wished. Extras. So that's that. And then what I want to do now is I want to reinforce this edge, because it's gone very thin because it was glued down. Half of it's still stuck there. So what I'm going to do is cut these little edges off here, because they interfere with your pocket. So all I'm going to do is snip them off like so. And like so. And then I've got a scrap of card here that I can either glue to the inside, but it's just as easy because it's going to be covered, to put it on the outside. First, I'm just going to ink along the edge to help it blend in with the envelope. There we go. It just reinforces the edge and makes your envelope a bit stronger for putting, you know, when things are sliding in and out. So just excuse me while I glue. When I make my videos, I'm actually standing behind it, because I work on the dining table, because I'm not as fortunate as some people have got a craft room, although I suppose you could say this is my craft room, because it's only on high days and holidays that we, you know, if we're entertaining and got family over, that we eat in here. The rest of the time, all my paraphernalia's on the table. My husband's very long-suffering. So that's nice and strong now there. And then what I want to do, I just want to slip something inside, just a strip of maybe if I've got something on the plain side, just to tuck in from there. Let's have a look, see what this will, whether this will do. I don't need a great deal of it, to be honest. This might be a bit too grungy. Let's have a look. Good idea if I cut it first to size. Now then, what did I do with the piece I'm going to put on the top? I think it's a bit dark. I want something a bit brighter. Let's have a look what we got here. Oh dear, my glue is puddling out all over the place. That might be nice. It's just a bit out of my stash from doing a project for Rachel and Bella Crafts. It's one of her backing papers and it's beautiful. There we go. That's better, I think. So let's get the glue down. Top back on. Just spread it to the edge. Now then, I don't know which is the straightest edge. We'll just take potluck. That was more luck than judgment, getting that down so easy. There we are. I think the other one was just a little bit dark. There we go. So that's that. And then we can glue this on. But because I took that little piece out, my strip is a little bit long, so we'll cut a little bit off here. Get my ruler. That's covered in glue. then we'll glue that on the back. Get in the corners, make sure it sticks. There we go. Another lovely collage piece from the kit. There we go. So move that one out the way. Excuse my arm a second. And just get this glue off my desk. Otherwise everything's going to stick to it. There we go. And now all we've got to do now is glue it to our main section. Now what you can do is glue it down there, and that could be a tuck spot, but I'm not going to do that because I want it to be fairly strong. So I'm just going to glue the whole thing down. So just excuse me one sec while I get glue on this flap. And we're coming to the end of my 3-in-1. So I try and keep it upside down so we're not waiting half an hour for it to run out. Or should I say to get to the spout. So here we go. Now I don't want it right up to the edge because it'll interfere with the closing of the flap. I just want to make sure it's straight as well. I'm just going to pull it down a fraction. There we go. There we are. So that's coming together nicely. And we've got the front to do then, and then something to dress the back. And we've got to decide whether we're going to do the same on here. But if we are, what I'm thinking is to have a flap that goes that way, and maybe that way. So that would go in there, and that would fold in there. Not convinced, not convinced. Let's have a look if we did it that way. Had a smaller one. We could have two flaps. You can have one opening there one opening there. Or get another one the same size as that and have it the same so that it folds right out. Just wondering what that would look like so. Because this pocket's quite bulky here, I don't want it to interfere once this is full. If you have two, it's going to be extra bulk on this side. No, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a little envelope that side, and we can repeat the process the other side. Right everybody, what I've done is I've found an envelope the same size as this one, and I've stuck it down the same method and decorated this front. I've put some paper on the inside, so now all we need to do is decorate this side, and I thought I'd stick these pockets on the front, so I thought that one would look quite nice there with it having pink tones in, and this one with it being greens. I would stick that one on there. So we'll do that now quickly before my glue goes off altogether. And these are the pockets out of the kit. It's a shame to cover that up, I know, it's beautiful, but it will give us some more space to put some ephemera, and that's what we like in our little folios, isn't it? There we go, and then we'll do the same with this one. I thought I'd do it off camera just to save time, because my videos do tend to be about an hour long. I know a lot of people don't like long videos, but you do have the option of, you know, fast forwarding to the bits that you find pertinent to you. Now, I'm just going to lift that up a little bit. This envelope is slightly, well, it's more or less the same. Try and get the pockets reasonably level so it's doesn't distract the eye. And then we've got some more tags here. Shall we have a little lamb in that one, and a bee in that one? Put a little ticket on the front, and a little hen in that one. Sorry, a little duck. Is it a duck? No, it's a hen. I was right first time. These want inking round. Just have a look and see what I've got in the way of other ephemera here that we could pop in. I'm working on a French themed journal for the collaboration of Rachel and Bella. So most of the things that are on my desk are French related. We could make that into a little tuck spot, couldn't we? Pop something around there. So what we'll do is just do down the side and along the bottom on that. Oh, that's perfect. Just the right colours. And then, what have we got here? Little ephemera piece there. We've got a longer piece that we could tuck in over here. Pop it that side, I think. Take that large one out so you can see the flowers. There we go. Oh, there's a ticket could go in there, couldn't it? Oops, a little bit of ink round. Little ticket. And what have we got there? Oh, something up my stash. That picks up the blues in that. Let's have a look at these other baskets. That little pink butterfly was rather nice as well. That might go nice on there. With a word, maybe. Oh, the word. Where's the words? Where's the words? Petals. Yeah, I don't dislike that. Or April. We've got bloom. May. I thought there was March as well. Daisy. Oh, it's Daisy. Let's have a look. It's quite nice. I think I quite like the April. Season. Tulip. Spring. It's lacking a bit of something. We'll put some lace, shall we? Maybe a bit of lace along the bottom of the pocket. Yeah, I think that will tie it in with the lace on the other side as well. Yeah. just move those out the way, guys and gals, so it's not distracting. There we are. Move that one as well. Move up those out the way. So there we are. So we've got a flap there with some ephemera in. That was in the kit, a little heart. Pop that in there. Does need inking. There we are. I'll get another piece of ephemera here out of my stash with some roses on. See what that looks like. I like a full pocket. And then let's have a look. It's still lacking a little something, I think. What have we got? See if I've got a little butterfly or something that we can put on. Got some pink ones, little blue one. Oh, there's a pink one. Oh, we've got a little yellow one, which is quite nice. Oh, there's a big pink one. Or that little blue one. I suppose that little blue one is more in keeping with what's there. Oh, how about this one? Yeah, I think I like that one. It picks out the pink in the flowers. So we'll glue that down. Oh, just before I do, thanks everybody. I've just glued that little butterfly down, and I'm going to call it a night for tonight because it's very late. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning here, and I hope that you've enjoyed the video and watching the progress of the little folio. I've put it to one side for the time being, and just thought I'd share these tags with you and these beautiful envelopes showing off Suzanne's lovely kit. So I hope that you'll join me for the next video in the series of putting this little folio together. And if you like what you've seen, please leave me a like and a comment. I love reading your feedback, and I always respond to everybody, you know, whether it be good feedback or bad, and because that's how we learn and grow, and it's much appreciated because it's helping to grow my little channel. So I do appreciate each and every one of you for doing that for me. So hope to see you in the next video, and until then I'll say good night. Good night everyone. Bye for now. Bye.